you're in the right place. We're sharing valuable tips, and these are some of the tips and tricks and methodologies and systems that I have used to help bring businesses to massive growth and massive success. We've used these in the herb store, which if you were on yesterday, you know that herb store I opened when I was 25 was self-sufficient in less than a year, made a profit in less than 2, sold it off, moved cross country. And then my most recent pre-entrepreneurial gig as operations director for the subsidiary of the Hospital Association, working with the software service teams. A lot of these systems were in place for a 7-figure revenue stream. We grew that to a 7-figure revenue stream. And maybe you don't have on your team those kind of resources. That's why I'm here for you. I am on your team to help you grow your business. Okay, so how big do you want to grow your business? Let's jump in to our next portion. So exciting. Foundation, message, strategy equals success. So have you given thought to where you want to land? Okay. Planting that seed. Okay. We're going to talk about that a little later, but give a thought to how big you want to grow, because we'll all hear, hey, you can have 1 million followers, you can have 10 million followers, you can have best-selling authorship books. This is great, and I encourage you to have these goals, but that's not everyone's goal. And if your goal is, I want to have a comfortable life, a comfortable income, so that I can live in my work balance and live freely, that is attainable also through these same systems. So whether you are just starting out, growing your business to the point where you are happy with it, or you are shooting for the moon, all of these tips and tricks and systems will work for you. Yesterday, we talked about clarity of direction. And you remember, for the strategic plan, it builds on that foundation, the mission, vision, values. And it builds on the message. Those two in place will help drive your strategic plan. And then the money will follow. The success will follow. Let's talk about that clarity of direction. What is your success sweet spot? This goes back. How big do you want to grow your business? Because before you set in motion any plan of action, you need to know the answer to this question. Are you looking for fame? This bottom axis, on a scale of 1 to 10, are you looking to be wildly famous? Are you looking for fortune? This axis on the left, scale of 1 to 10. How much money are you looking to make? Do you want to pay off all your debts, live debt-free, enjoy your house, live a good life, enjoy vacations, luxury lifestyle, or do you want multiple yachts? I mean, what's your goal? Okay, be honest with yourself. Some people that we know, we think of that quadrant 1, big fame, big fortune. You know, who are some of the celebrities that fit in that quadrant? Kardashians come to mind, right? Who are some of the celebrities that have fortune and a little less fame? Oh, let's think to our niche programs, maybe on the British baking show. Not everybody would recognize the British baking show hosts as they walk down the street, but they have their fan base and they're making good money. And then what about those who have fame and no fortune? My brother's friend is the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. His brother is the bassist, and tells me the story of when he was going to the mall in Menlo, New Jersey, lived in New Jersey, to buy sneakers, and it was hoarded by fans, throngs of fans all around him. He couldn't actually get to the store to buy sneakers, which everyone was so, what are you doing buying sneakers in a mall like a regular person? And he is a regular person. He doesn't have a lot of fame and fortune, but he doesn't have a lot of fortune, but he has a lot of fame, and it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Okay, so if you're looking for fame, might I suggest getting a little bit of compensation for your efforts there to the point that it's comfortable, or maybe you don't want any of that. Maybe none of that is what you're looking for and you're in this quadrant. Well, define your success sweet spot. And then we are going to get ready to rumble, or rather scrumble, or rather scrum. Scrum is a framework for taking difficult and elaborate systems and goals and chunking them down into easy to accomplish tasks in alignment. I did not come up with Scrum. Scrum is a system that is very often used by program developers and analytics folks. But I'm here to tell you, this system is so applicable across the board, and you do not need a computer degree to use it. Do not need to be an analytical thinker to get this concept and to apply it to your life and to your systems. We think of goals. We think of, okay, I'm going to set a goal, and then I am going to take the steps necessary to meet that goal. And when I do, I've accomplished that goal. I can cross it off the list and move on to the next one. Sounds good. You may even hear about SMART goals. If you expected me to talk about SMART goals, this is the only moment I'm going to talk about that, where your goal is simple, measurable, it's based in real time, it's achievable, realistic. There's a deadline to it. I'm not even saying it correctly because I hate the SMART goal concept. It's not enough. It's true. If you set a goal, it should be a SMART goal. But without having a system in place, then your goals don't necessarily align with your foundation, with your purpose. And if you want to achieve great success quickly and efficiently, you want to ensure that your system is aligned, your directions are aligned, your actions are aligned with your foundation. How does this happen? Let's get ready to scrumble. Just like saying that. Here is the overarching, high-level, 300,000 foot view of what Scrum is. It starts with a theme. To use the example of the healthcare project, let me give you a little background on that. HealthXNet was developed in the late 90s and early 2000s to act as an electronic intermediary for sharing information between hospitals, doctors' offices, and health plans. This was a time when computers were new. We certainly didn't have apps on our phones for everything. So this was cutting edge at the time. So our theme was improve communication between providers, which is the term that's used for any clinician, anyone seeing a patient, a provider, and health plans, those who are reimbursing for that service. That is the theme that we had. In the Scrum system, that is the basic understanding that is the umbrella over everything that follows next. In the Scrum system, the next level is called epic, okay? Because it's still big. We're chunked down a little bit. Okay? We're niching down from our theme, but it's still epic. In the example of our software, the first epic would be allow providers to access a patient's eligibility and benefits electronically, instantaneously. And again, at the time, this was not done. This was all new. Another epic might be allow a doctor's office to access a patient's claims payment history so they know it's a bill. Okay. Can you see how this is taking the theme and dividing it into different areas that might require different approaches. Epics may have some overlap, but we treat them separately because there is a significant portion that is different. Accessing a patient's eligibility, for example, benefit information, is different than accessing a patient's claims history. What was done, what was billed by what provider, in network, out of network. So many issues at play. Okay, I want to take this slow. I promise you, when this comes together, you will have such an aha epiphany moment with me. I'm so excited. But if at any time you want me to stop and go over or would like to ask a clarifying question, please go to the reactions at the bottom of your Zoom controls and raise your hand. Okay. And then I will see that and I will unmute you and we'll walk through it. Okay. So EPIC, breaking down from our theme, connect healthcare information to provider offices for patient data. EPIC 1, allow benefit and eligibility information. EPIC 2, allow claims history information. Then we get to our next, this is so key, user stories. User stories. You have heard some flavor of this term in every marketing seminar, class, program that you've been involved in. You have heard this in every book writing class, workshop that you have been involved in every presentation, delivery, class, training that you have been involved in. User story is a simple term that says, tell me what the problem is that I'm solving from the user's point of view. If you are a speaker and you speak from the stage, you may have heard from mentors and coaches that you should reduce the number of times the word I appears and increase the number of times the word you appears, that you are saying that and sharing that. If you are an author and you are writing articles, you want to write it from the point of view of your end user, your reader, your listener. This is what the user story is. So in the context of this software, a user story might be, I am a receptionist at a doctor's office. Patients come up, they have appointments. If there are 10 patients in my waiting room, chances are there are 5 different health plan companies at play, and each patient that might be part of the same health plan company probably has a different plan with different coverage and so on. And at the time, the only way to get that information was through a phone call. And without exaggeration, those phone calls would be a minimum of 10 minutes long, sometimes going half hour or more. If you remember those days where the receptionist was always on the phone in the doctor's office, here's a bit of the problem we were solving. So a user story, this is important. I'm going to repeat this a lot. I want you to pick up your pen. I want you to write this down. A user story phrases this situation in the form of, as a blank, I want blank, so that blank. As a doctor's office receptionist, I want easy access to a patient's benefit information so that I don't have to wait on the phone for 10 minutes. So that I can help my patients more efficiently. So that I'm not distracted, I'm not on hold. Okay. Does that make sense? We're gonna dive in real deep here. Okay. After the user stories come the tasks. So we're gonna dive into task management, and the third part, I know it's not sexy, but you've been around a while. We're helping make it a little bit jazzed up here, aren't we? All right, coming back to the theme. Imagine our theme at the health plan project was connect providers and health plan systems with easy access to patient data. Does that phrasing sound a little familiar, a little resonant? Because when you think about it, when you dive in, that phrasing is the mission. The theme is the mission of the project. Okay. Sophia, hi, I see you in the audience today. Yesterday we had Sophia in at a hot seat, and I'm going to invite another person to come up and volunteer for a hot seat here today. So keep that in mind. When that opportunity comes, I'd love to learn about you and your business, to bring you in to apply these techniques specifically to your situation. You could be on video if you like, definitely audio will be there, but keep that in mind. What is your mission? To empower women and men to embrace their greatness and remove limiting beliefs was Sophia's mission. Okay. Now that's not the final form of her mission, but that's what we talked about yesterday. That's the gist of it. So the theme for Strategic Business Solutions Consulting, the mission: empower entrepreneurs to achieve massive growth and success. Paraphrased. Okay. Once you have your mission clearly in place, you have your theme for this system, for this process. Okay. The next step is the epic. How are we going to do that? And Sophia, I'm sorry, I'm calling on you from memory here. Sophia had a published books to share the message and process. Could be one epic for the Embracing Greatness company. Another epic might be offer personalized coaching and consulting. Those are two different streams. You can have an epic for every one of your revenue streams. If you're an entrepreneur, you have a podcast, okay? That epic could be share the message via podcasts, okay? And don't go into detail. Don't go further, drill down at the epic level. We may want to, but just separate avenues that might have something in common with each other. That's okay. There can be a little overlap, but this is your vision. This is how are you going to use your mission-driven activity? Where do you want it to take you? By when? That's your epic. Are you following me? Do you get this? I mean, let me see this in the chat. I want to hear that this is making sense to you. Do you see the value in this? I want you to tell me and share with me. Is this something you can apply to your business? Do you get how this alignment goes? Okay. Your vision is driving from your theme to your epic. And then the natural next step, user stories, our on fire buyer. Okay. Yesterday, we went through all the drudge work, all that front end work. Oh, it's not fun. I know, but it is so necessary, because if you want to get to that success, your foundation has to be rock solid, rock solid. And it is as simple as getting your mission, vision, values, and your on fire buyer, your customer avatars documented, not in your head, not, okay, I'm aware of it, because that's great. Sure, it's in your head, but as you grow your team, as you scale, unless you are the first person in existence to gather a team of mind readers who never fail in reading your mind, it's not going to work as efficiently. I guarantee. User stories. So let's go and talk about how this user story applies to you and your business. And I'm gonna go a little bit here. Here's some avatar, and Sophia, I changed this picture out so it matched your avatar from yesterday, our Jessie 55. I'm going to ask our other attendees to start raising your hand, because I want a hot seat. I want to talk about what your user story could be. Let's create user stories for you and your business here. Okay. For this particular example, Jesse, 55-year-old avatar for the Embracing Greatness. Okay. As a woman in transition at 55 years old, I want to overcome my limiting beliefs and take chances for my success so that I can feel vibrant and alive, so that I can earn the money I know I'm worth, so that I can embrace greatness. Okay. We want to be specific. Okay. As someone who is in your audience, okay, as an attendee at this real estate sales conference, I want to learn how to close the sale faster so that I can spend less time on paperwork and more time with my clients. As an author, I want to know how to classify my books on Amazon so that I can rank higher on the best-selling list that they have. This is applicable across the board. For example, going back to the healthcare software, and I'm going real slow here because I know this is a lot. This might be new for some of you. And if it's not new and you've worked with programmers, it might be new to apply it outside of that realm. But we would think, as a hospital administrator, I want my staff to have access to instantaneous information so that my hospital gets a higher customer satisfaction ranking on intake. Think about that. If your target is a hospital administrator and his goal is improved customer satisfaction, patient satisfaction rankings, okay, how does your solution fit into that? In this case, the solution is a software service. It's a website connecting an inquiry form to the health plan information. Was groundbreaking at the time. Now it's part and parcel of every program that you can find in doctors. It's built in. But this is how we get there. This is how we break ground so that these things can become part and parcel, ingrained, and easily available. Okay. So as a billing office manager, I want access to a patient's claim billing history so that I can accurately bill for the balance, which is what my clients hire me to do, so that I can get higher customer satisfaction and customer retention. We're wording this in the same language that our prospects use. We are wording this, and it makes it so easy now, right? We were talking yesterday, what are your prospects being kept awake at night by? What problem do you solve that is keeping the people that you serve, your on-fire buyers, all the avatars, what is keeping them up at night? Okay. Here's my hospital administrator. He wants customer service rankings. Okay. So he still wants customer service improvement. He still wants intake to be a high level, high functioning, high customer satisfaction position, but you're offering training classes for his staff, perhaps on conflict management, perhaps on being proactive on how to avoid conflict, and if it arises, how to diffuse it. As a hospital administrator, I want my staff equipped with the tools and knowledge to help avoid workplace conflict so that my hospital is a happy place to work, so that my hospital is safe for employees and patients. It writes itself in this. Okay? And then, it applies to every single demographic, because if you are my dog Baxter that you heard here, not just 20 minutes ago as he was polar bearing and shaking and his tags were jingling, that cute little rescue. I rescued him 2 years ago and he stole my heart. As a rescue puppy, I want treats so that I know I am a good boy. Okay, it works across the board for everybody, every situation. So here, I would like to pull you in. I want someone here to be brave. I want you to raise your hand and come on in, and let's just apply this quick as a I want so that to your business, to your situation. Because I can go on hypothetically, right? Or put in the chat if you want me to address a specific industry, a specific coaching specialty. I don't want to put you on the spot if you're not ready for prime time or Zoom time, as it's called. I get that, but I want to help you with your specific growth. I want to help you with your specific business. Okay. We have a wellness coach. Okay. Okay, so again, here, her name's not Jessie, if she's the wellness avatar, if she's that. Okay, this is Maggie. Maggie may be Gen X like me. Okay. And as an office worker, as a middle-aged man or woman, as someone who is getting on in years, I want to improve my health so that I live longer. I want to live longer so that I can spend more time with my family. I want to be healthy so I can be active with my children and grandchildren. That works. So that's a good example. Okay. We were going on the kayak. So I had a fantastic weight loss journey that, unfortunately, authenticity and accountability right here. I've packed on the freshman 15 or the COVID-19 pounds, right? I've packed them on. I'm sorry that I got to lose them again, but kayaking is the way to go. And I can't wait to get that kayak back in the water to get these pounds off again. And as a middle-aged woman with a sedentary lifestyle, thanks to being a computer person, thanks to being less free to roam, as we all are, okay? As an office worker, I want more physical fitness options so that I can achieve my fitness goals, so that I can lose weight, so that I can build my upper body strength, so that I can be as specific as you possibly can with your so that's. And your marketing copy has written itself. Are you looking to meet your fitness goals? Did you gain the lockdown weight, the quarantine weight that the entire country apparently has gained from what I'm hearing? Are you looking to lose that? Here's the wellness program for you. Are you a middle-aged woman and you feel like you just can't get unstuck? You're spinning your wheels, and I keep going for the middle-aged woman because I am one. Sorry, as a middle-aged woman, I want to use a different example so that it applies to your target audience as well, right? As a trainer for Lean Six Sigma techniques, I want access to easy online tools so that my clients can learn no matter where in the country they are located. Okay. I hope that worked very well for you. I'm looking for some hot seats. Sophia, can I pull you in for a little bit? Rachel, Marcy, who's got some burning questions for me? Because if not, I'll just go on. I had this set up for us to go through here to apply it to your business, and then we're going to take a break and go into the tasks portion of it. So whichever you wish to do, we can either take the break or we can go on into the task portion and just muscle through. Let me know in the chat. My default's going to be muscle through, but if anyone needs a break, okay, muscle through it is. Let's do it. The task portion of it. Going back to my health plan. As a receptionist, I want access to health plan information so I can get my patients' benefits immediately, not having to be on the phone. The tasks for these were plentiful. We had to build a website. We had to get an agreement with the health plan to access their data. We had to be specific as to what information we were pulling from them, what we were allowed to show. We had to test our interface. Is it easy to use? Is the information correct and timely, and so on? And each of these tasks aligned with that user story. Okay? I want the information to be accurate so that I don't have to go back and make corrections for billing claims, for example. Okay. As a Scrum Master, as the person who is the project master for this, okay, you are keeping control over your mission, your vision, your on-fire buyer, and your different tasks here. So one task might be build the website, but that's big. That's a big task. Let's break that down into smaller tasks. Build the page where we enter in the inquiry. If your own website, as you're collecting, I'm sure, for your mailing list, for your tribes, is there a form on your website that you build? Task 2 is connect it to the service that sends an autoresponder, that sends the free gift, the bonus, the ebook, the scheduling call, whatever. That's a separate task. Task 3 is, hey, create the ebook. Set up a calendar. Okay, that's a separate task when you're going in to all of this. Keeping track of these little tasks can be a pain in the patootie unless you're familiar with a concept called Kanban. These are my Post-it people love Kanban. I don't have a lot of Post-its around here. What I have is an Excel spreadsheet. I'm kind of a spreadsheet girl, right? So as a spreadsheet girl, I tend to put things in columns, and I'm going to share a whiteboard here. This is what I want to share. This is what I want to show you. Let's do this as a whiteboard. And I'll show you very, very, very simple Kanban. So here we go. It can be anything. It can be a piece of paper. It can be a whiteboard. It can be a chalkboard. It can be spreadsheets. If you are using any of these online task management programs like Asana or Monday or any of these other online programs designed to help you work with teams, they will work well too. But your tasks have simple classifications, okay? And you can have a few more. You don't want to have too many more. Here's my chicken scratch. So here's your to-do. I think I can just actually type. You probably want to see that a little better than my chicken scratch, don't you? Oh, yeah. Here we go. To-do. Every task that you identify that's in line with your mission and your vision and your user story, with your theme, your epic, and your on-fire buyer, I mixed them there, goes into do. Okay? Your second column is in progress. Everything that you're working on this week, in progress. This last column, or the second last column here, done. Okay. So there's my task and it's done. And then is a final one, which I like to call dormant. sometimes when we first start out on a project, that step we're about to take, that task that we defined makes sense at the outset, but as we go through and we keep in alignment, we realize maybe that is not as important a task as we initially thought. Our customers and our clients are telling us this task does not give them the value that we thought it might give them. So let's wait on that, okay? Maybe not even included in there. So as we're going through our tasks, we'll go to do, in progress, done, and dormant. Simple Kanban board. If you Google Kanban, you'll find all sorts. The easiest thing you can do is simple Post-it notes, multicolored Post-it notes for your different tasks. And as you create them, put them into do. As you're ready to start on them, hey, I'm working on my website, move it over to in progress. And then when this small chunked out portion of the task is done, move it to done. And then you decide, you know, I really don't need to have a full membership site on my website. You can put that into dormant. Maybe it's not something that you want to deal with now. It's something that you may want to deal with later. There's the whiteboard for you. Okay. Back to here. Now, how do you prioritize what tasks there are? I have this gift for you. If you go to bit.ly/SBSC priority grid, you will get a copy of this handout that we have right here. This is the Eisenhower prioritization grid. And this is how Eisenhower would determine what he dealt with, what he delegated, and what he ignored. Okay? Everything that you have to do, everything that you have pressing. I told you I love grids. One of 4 categories. Okay? It's either urgent and important, urgent and not important, not urgent and important, not urgent and not important. When you look at your to-do list, one of my clients, she tells me, I have so much on my to-do list. It's a notebook and I just keep adding to it. And I have lost all motivation to even start on it because if I do, then I have to do everything and it's the weight of the world on my shoulders, she tells me. And I'm thinking, okay, Celeste, what you need to do is not keep everything in a notebook. You need to chunk it down. What's priority? If it is urgent and important, you do it. If it's not urgent, but still important, you delegate it. If it's urgent and not important, it probably doesn't need to be done. If it's not important, it's someone else's crisis potentially. Take a deep breath and then decide. And if it's not urgent and not important, you don't even need to do it. Okay. Thank you. I just got a message from one of our participants letting me know, letting me know that this is useful information for you. I'm so glad that this is of service to you. And again, you will get the recording. So even if you're not up to going live with me today, which if we have no one who goes live, I'm going to give you back a little bit of your time today. We'll end a little earlier and that will be fine. You'll have access to the recordings. We can have a conversation about what your specific situation is. I want to help. Okay, so your prioritization grid, if you go to this URL, bit.ly/SBSC priority grid, you will be able to download this for yourself and use it as you are prioritizing your tasks. So again, I'm going to keep talking about tasks and that overwhelm feeling that we have. We have it aligned, okay, our overall mission, vision, our user stories. If our task is too big to complete in a reasonable amount of time, it has to be broken up into smaller tasks. The task is too big. Okay? If you are, for example, enjoying a pizza dinner with your family and you want to eat an entire pizza at once, it is too big. You have to cut it into slices. The same with your tasks. Okay, your task pizza. After that, you prioritize them. And the ones that have the highest priority are the ones you work on first and the others wait or get delegated. But that's not all. In Scrum, there is a system of accountability, and it's called a sprint. Now, as you can imagine, as I've explained, we had a huge team to help build this software solution for the subsidiary of the New Mexico Hospital Association. And building any web-based application takes a lot of time, a lot of detail attention, and a lot of management, a lot of project management. In Scrum, the project manager is called the Scrum Master, and they manage what ultimately becomes a user story and what ultimately becomes a task, and which tasks get broken down into smaller tasks. And then the team each takes 1 or 2 or 3 tasks, however many they are comfortable that they can complete within 1 week, 2 weeks. It changes for different teams. For our purposes, for what we're doing today, 1 week. It's just you and me here. The tasks that we commit to be able to complete in 1 week. And hey, if there's a task and you look at it and it's not completable within 1 week, it's too big. You have to break it down and complete a portion of it. And then you could add the next portion of it your next week for your next sprint. So a sprint is we're in a hustle to get our tasks done by this deadline. We have our tasks, we have our in progress. For in progress this week, we're going to sprint and get everything done, boom, and move it to done, because done is the best place that there is. Don't be afraid to call something done. There's a whole conversation about the cult of done, and I'll send it to you after this. I didn't make a slide for it, but done is the enemy of perfect is the enemy of done. If you wait till it's perfect, you'll never get anything done. Okay. If you procrastinate, you'll never get anything done. Getting something done is the goal. Your tasks, what you can complete in a week. I have these 5 tasks. I've outlined them. Here is my sprint. And for us, whether you're a team of 1 or a team of 5, a team of hundreds, whatever size teams you're working with, your sprint is a strategic approach to knocking your goals out of the park. This is a system. This is better than just, I have this one goal. I have this one goal. This is a system. And another gift for you. If you go to bit.ly/mystrategicweek, you will get a copy of this. I use every Sunday, every single week without fail. My strategic week. I look at my tasks for my goals, long-term and short-term. And I say, this is what I'm going to accomplish this week for my business, for my profession. And I put it here in this first column. I do this every Sunday without fail. Sunday evening, right after just settling down, quiet, 7 o'clock at night. That's about the time my clean, fresh, strategic week worksheet comes out, and I write down what I'm doing for my professional and business goals for the week. And then I'm writing down what I'm doing for my personal and family goals for the week. So for this week, for example, my professional and business goals were to knock this webinar out of the park, deliver great service to you. For the coming week, my goals are get these recordings packaged and delivered out to everyone who's attended as promised. My personal and family goals. I have a recipe that my mom handed down for a cake that I have been just dying to make. And over the holidays, I was unable. I had a loss of mobility, a little surgery on my foot. Everything's fine now, but I couldn't stand in the kitchen and make a cake. And I have just been so much wanting to make this and share this with my family. My personal goal this week is to make that cake. Okay. Another personal goal this week is to make that dentist appointment for my son. Include those as well. You want to talk about a work-life balance? Start actively creating your work-life balance. Your to-do list can not only be your business. Your to-do list, if you are a professional, can not only be your family. We're going to balance it out and put those goals as well. Growth and development goal. What's this? Well, education. If we are not lifelong learners, we will fall short, fall behind our competition, fall behind our goals. Okay. What's your growth and development goal? What associations do you belong to? Where are you volunteering? I think I mentioned as part of learning how to create videos, I'm volunteering to create videos for the National Speakers Association chapter here in New Mexico for our various events. That is a growth and development goal. It is not my business and professional goal. I'm not in the business of video making. I want to learn this as an interest and a hobby. And yes, it will later feed my outsourcing of video editors because we have a common knowledge. But that's a growth and development goal. Take that online class. I want to learn more about washing machine repair. I want to learn more about how to cultivate orchids. What's your growth and development goal for the week? And in the bottom right, I have it colored red to be attention getting. Nourish and recharge. I am willing to bet you have been on an airplane, and I am willing to bet that you have heard numerous times as the stewardess, attendant says, if you are traveling next to a child, please put the air mask on yourself first and then help others. If we fail to nourish and recharge, if we fail to take that self-care into account for ourselves, we will not be able to perform at our best for others. I put it at the bottom right because I think of it last, but I color it red and attention getting, so I look at it first. It always catches my attention first. My particular favorite flavor of nourish and recharge is a steam bath or a hot tub or swimming, anything that involves a physical activity in the water, kayaking, okay? What is your nourish and recharge? Go to get a haircut. Hey, I'm going to give myself a pedicure. Write it down, do it. Make sure you do. This is one of your goals for the week. We can't have our goals be everything serving others and then knock it off and then wonder why, even though we've accomplished every single thing on our list, every single thing we have set out to do, wonder why we feel so exhausted all the time, why we feel so disconnected. Okay. Thing two, the next Sunday comes along. It is time to look at what you've accomplished and pull out your new focus sheet from my strategic week. If there are holdovers from the week before, you have added too much to your sprint. It's okay. Understand what you can accomplish, outsource what you can, do what you can, but please split it all. Make sure that you are, because no one else is going to advocate for your work-life balance but you. If you are going week to week and there are items that are not crossed off, that are not completed from the week before, you've done too much, so add less. By all means, continue over. Sure, in the professional world, when we had that team of developers, we were looking to get our software tasks done. Of course, on occasion, there were tasks that were not completed, okay? But we learned as we went, learn as you go, and this system is a way for you to know yourself, to understand your limits, to stretch your limits, and to learn where you need to bring in help to accomplish everything you really, really want to accomplish. I hope that's helpful for you. Okay. Let's get this down to the next one. The last piece here is the stand-up. This is the Scrum equivalent of accountability. For accountability, we need to state our goals to people and let people know what our status is with it. Well, a stand-up, it's a meeting. And remember that video on meetings from yesterday and how inefficient they can be. But a stand-up is a different kind of meeting. Among software development teams, it happens every day. It happens for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of the group. So a 5-minute group, 5 minutes might be a team of 3 or 4. A 10-minute meeting might be a team of 7, 8, and it scales accordingly. You may be surprised how many people are involved and how short this meeting is. And no one sits. It's why it's called a stand-up. No one should get comfortable in a stand-up meeting. It's a check-in. When you have a team of people, your stand-up, there are only 3 questions that everyone comes in and answers. Okay. What have you done since we last met? What will you do next? And where are you stuck? So I have my tasks. What have you done since yesterday? Oh, I did this and this. What will you do next? I'm working on completing this. Where are you stuck? I have a problem I can't get around. I need an expert to help me overcome my social media calendar. I wanted to have a social media campaign. So let's say my sprint is about a social media campaign. What have I done? Well, I have gotten a subscription to a service like Hootsuite or Studiorific or another one that helps me look at all of my social media sites at one sitting and schedule everything out at once instead of going back and forth. I've done that. What will I do next? I will create content for each of those social media sites that I plan to have a campaign on. Where are you stuck? Well, I logged into Canva and there's just too many creative options. And I find myself going down a rabbit hole and getting distracted by all the shiny pictures that I could possibly do. Okay. In a stand-up, in the Scrum session, everyone comes together. What have you done? What will you do next? Where are you stuck? And instead of getting into a discussion about where you're stuck, it's just noted and you follow up offline. It's just a litmus test, a temperature check. Where are you at? If you have crossed something off of your strategic week, what have you done? Boom. What will you do next? Okay. Next on my strategic week is from my professional and business and a little nourish recharge. That's what I'm going to do next. Where are you stuck? I'm stuck because I want to do business before I recharge. Does that sound familiar? That might be a very common entrepreneurial affliction. Has this been helpful to you? This is the key to align your foundation and your user stories into your strategic plan. Okay? It can't, if you are approaching, okay, I need to do this for my business and I need a social media campaign, for example. If you are trying to approach that without considering your avatars, your on-fire buyers, knowing where they get their news, knowing their user story, if you are approaching that, then what you put out there will probably not be as effective as the social media campaign that comes from, I am targeting, okay, and I'm picking on this, the Jessie, Sophia, I'm picking on your Jessie because she is the nearest, she's that real to me now. Jessie, I understand that you're a Facebook and a LinkedIn kind of woman right now, right? And I think that tapping into your creative side, you're probably spending a little more time on Instagram because you don't want to be so business on LinkedIn, right? In the user story, I know how to word my LinkedIn social media campaign. I know how to word the Facebook social media campaign, and I know how to word the Instagram social media campaign. And a whole different aside, each of those different social media platforms require different packaging for the message. For LinkedIn, it's probably an article, a scholarly article that you've written, or a post that you're sharing and adding your own insight to if you're not submitting articles anywhere. And on Facebook, a little slice of life, how you learned your lesson, you learned this fantastic lesson or experienced this issue. And yesterday, I posted about how things can go wrong, even though you have the greatest plan. As you know, I'm flying solo today. I'm flying solo yesterday. Okay. And it's okay. I'm grateful for everything that went right. And I posted that to Facebook. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. For Instagram, when I post, I'm posting a picture because a picture's worth 1,000 words, and a short, no more than a text message worth of text, because that's what that platform is. The people who best receive information that way are on that platform more often. I hope that's been very helpful. I didn't mean to go down the social media rabbit hole with you, but the topic came up. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how to position your business for growth. As part of this whole workshop series, which thank you for all the feedback that I'm getting here. Everyone has been saying that this is all or in part useful to you. I'm so glad. These are proven systems. These are the same systems that have helped me get a small business self-sustaining and profitable, a retail store, in under 2 years, to help get that customer service program for the retail chain working at those store locations, diving in, being niched. It's helped grow that service line up to 7 figures. Can we grow your service line up to 7 figures? How much do you want to grow? Okay. So as a thank you, as a follow-up, you registered for this. I'm going to email out the 7 strategies to position your business for growth. You will have the worksheets for your mission, vision, values, for your on fire buyer custom avatar. And there's also information in there that we didn't even get a chance to cover on this workshop here. But this is how to build the foundation to get your business positioned for growth. And then as an extra bonus call, I want you to go to bookacallwithmarianne.com. You connect to my calendar. I've freed up time over the next 2 weeks, and let's spend 20 minutes together. As a bonus, I'll send you a questionnaire. Just tell me a little bit about you, your business, what you're trying to achieve. And we'll work on strategies that you'll have actionable strategies. I get it. Didn't want to come on for a hot seat. It's a Friday morning. It's the end of the week. I got my Zoom hair. I get it. It's okay. We're going to end early as a result of that. But because we're ending early, I want to make sure you get that kind of value. Not only am I offering this call one-on-one 20 minutes, but for everyone who books a 20-minute call, I'm going to invite you free to my February group coaching session. And the group coaching session includes any number of my clients who chime in that day, any number of my patrons on Patreon. That's another way you can be in touch with me. If you go to patreon.com and / Marianne Bjelke, I have a kind of friends and family arrangement there. So you're getting some inside information here. We're all busy people, right? We're all working very differently than we did before a year ago, March. And we want to invest and grow, but we don't always have a lot of money or time. So this is on demand. It's lower cost. It's access for group and personalized work that doesn't require any sort of long-term commitment working with. That might be a good fit for you. If you want to work with me, I want to work with you, book that call. If you just want a 20-minute strategy session and say thank you, and we'll see book that call. Let me help you. Book a call with Marianne.com. Pick any time that works for you, and then we will connect. You'll get the recording of the call. You'll get the recording of these workshops, okay? Just by virtue of being here. I want to say thank you. Because we had no hot seats, we're going to end a little early. And I hope that's okay with you. I think we got a lot of value, and I'm happy to give you an hour back of your life. Book a call with Marianne.com. Let's get you in a position where you are achieving massive growth in 2021. It is possible. It is absolutely possible. I've done it time and time again. I've helped others do it time and time again. You can do this as well just by employing these systems. Okay. Before I close out, I want to offer, are there any questions, any comments? Put in the chat. Thank you again for everyone who chimed in. I know a lot of these comments came in to just all panelists and weren't shared. Some went to all attendees here, but I appreciate Brayton, Marcy, TK. Thank you so very much for spending time here with us today, with me today. Louisa, Marcy, Rachel, thank you, Celeste, Mark, I appreciate you so very much. And I look forward to the next webinar and workshop. I know some folks were here yesterday or have dropped off already, so that list is shorter. And if you're watching the recording, I didn't call out your name, I'm sorry. Hey, have a great day. Book a call with Marianne.com, and I will talk to you soon.